What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and news report for Wednesday, April 14th. Many workers are now asking for their employers to provide flexible schedules amid the growing concerns that this virus, COVID, is actually here to stay. We know the IRS has issued the last of the $1,400 stimulus checks, and I'll address that in just a minute. We know the forced stimulus checks are still being seen as a requirement in order to get the economy back on track and get people back on their feet. We also have some great news regarding the monthly payments for the child tax credits of up to $300 per month. We know the IRS is on track as well to begin sending the unemployment income overpayments that you didn't have to pay if you made under $10,200 in unemployment income. And we also know lawmakers and many Americans all over the United States are actually pretty ecstatic that President Biden has a plan to withdraw the U.S. forces out of Afghanistan by September 11th of this year. So we do have a lot to go over, so let's begin. Now, before I do, I just want to say thank you guys for all your great comments, questions, and for always hitting that like button. It really does help out the channel. So again, thank you for your comments and questions. I really do appreciate those, and it does help me to better understand what you want in the next video. So again, thank you for asking. I try to read them all the time. Now, we do have some great news today. So here's what we know. According to the IRS, okay, the final batch of $1,400 stimulus checks has been sent out, and it should be received today. The checks that are going to be received today should be going to the Veterans Affairs benefit beneficiaries. And again, this should be the $1,400 checks. The good news is that even though there are still some lagging checks, the majority, okay, probably 98% of checks have gone out to the American people. The other roughly 2%. Those are still waiting, but if you haven't received a direct deposit, if you haven't received a paper check or a prepaid debit card, okay, the issue is you will most likely have to do something called an IRS payment trace. You can call the IRS's phone number and you can have them do a payment trace. It usually takes about 6 weeks according to the IRS. Some people get their disbursement a little bit sooner. Other people are still waiting. So it is kind of hit and miss there, but at least you can get them on the right track to hopefully find your payment and then send it to you. One thing I do want to say is if you don't do a payment trace and you don't get your payment, the problem is you will have to wait until next year, until 2022, when you file your 2021 taxes, and then you can do a rebate credit. So just keep that in mind. You will get your payment, but it could take a little while. Now, in regards to the fourth stimulus check, what we're hearing is that lawmakers continue to press President Biden to include this into his next package, into the infrastructure bill. But the problem is that some say a stimulus check to the extent of these $1,400 checks going out to as many people as they did, that is not what is needed. Others say that direct payments are exactly what the American people need to help them get back on their feet. So as of right now, it's just a matter of who is going to win. Is it going to be the progressives that are pushing for $2,000 per month? Or is it going to be the more moderates that say, no, I don't think we need a stimulus check at this point? Well, there's arguments for both sides. But after news from the IRS broke yesterday, what we now know is the chances of a fourth stimulus check going out to as many Americans as the last one, or going out for $2,000 per month, that is seen at this point as highly unlikely. Now again, a fourth stimulus check is still likely, but not to the extent of the last one that went out to 160 million people. That is not what lawmakers are now calling for. I'm going to address that. If you remember, I stated over a week ago and over 2 weeks ago, and I think over 3 weeks ago as well, that if we see the child tax credits get delayed into August or September, then the chances of a fourth stimulus check are actually going to increase. Well, the good news yesterday is that according to the IRS commissioner, he was asked yesterday by Senator Sherrod Brown, I think he's out of Ohio. He said, or Sherrod Brown asked, and I quote, is the IRS on track for monthly payments starting in July for the child tax credits? The IRS Commissioner, Charles Rettig, he said, we are. So, this was a real concern amongst lawmakers before. This is what their concern was, that if the child tax credits took too long to implement, they couldn't be a monthly payment and they were more periodic. That would create issues that wouldn't lift all those children out of poverty. And according to the reports, 50% of children will be lifted out of poverty because of this one bill, because of this child tax credit increase. So remember, these payments are supposed to begin in July. This will be huge. That means we should start to see the portal. We should begin to see it opening hopefully in June, maybe a little bit before that, but my guess is we will see it sometime in June. That's where people can go in, parents can go in and either opt in or opt out of monthly payments. And depending on how much you earn and all that stuff, maybe you want to opt out of it and just get it at the end of the year. Maybe you want the monthly payment, but you could use the monthly payment, so you opt in and you get it then, which is great. But remember, these are $300 per month child tax credits for children between the ages of 0 and 5, and it's $250 per month per child for children between the ages of 6 and 17. So it's going to be a big boost. It's going to help out millions of people, and it's probably going to help you out as well. Now, as far as those that do not have children, if you do not have children, the child tax credit obviously will not impact you in a way that it would impact many other people. The problem that we are seeing right now is people on Social Security, younger adults as well, are not being impacted by this. So some are saying that yes, the lawmakers still need to pass an additional stimulus check. Some economists say yes, this is still needed because you're going to leave out these different groups. Well, guess who's been left out of several different bills, several different provisions? It's been seniors, people on Social Security. Those are the ones being left out. And so lawmakers are saying we have to provide for this group of people. As of right now, there's not a lot of discussions as to how we can really help out this group of people, which makes me wonder, are lawmakers even serious about helping out seniors? As of right now, honestly, I don't know. Actions speak louder than words, and the actions of lawmakers right now are no. They do not care about seniors that much. We will see. Hopefully things change, but as they do, I promise I'll keep you updated. Experts do say that if the child tax credits, these payments actually begin in July, then people will see a huge boost, and this will provide an even bigger boost to the economy and to the American people. One report yesterday afternoon indicated that these payments will take between 2 to 3 months before they make a huge impact on the economy. But the great news for today is that they are at least on track to begin starting in July. I know a lot of people are wanting to know when these payments are coming. Honestly, they say sometime in July. We don't know exactly when. We will probably hear a better response as we get closer to that. We're still months away, so as we know a little bit more, I promise I will fill you in on the details. But also, this also means there's more good news from the IRS. What we know is, being that the child tax credits are on track to begin in July, as monthly payments, the next question is regarding the unemployment income tax and the waiver of refunds, right? What we know is, since the IRS is now on track to start sending out the child tax credits, that we now know that the unemployment income tax waiver refunds will begin in May. Now, this was something that the IRS stated before, is that they plan to send these payments out in May, but it was still something that was questionable because they were still a little bit behind. As of the last report, they were still behind in 2019 taxes, and obviously they're due in 2020. Well, what we know is they are catching up in 2019. I don't think they're done yet, but they're probably pretty close, and they're catching up with 2020 as well. So this is starting to make things and push the IRS back on track. We also know that by pushing back the federal income tax deadline from April 15th to May 17th, that was supposed to really hinder the IRS. However, and it was seen as a bad move. However, it actually seems like it worked better than many people expected. So that is the good news there. So if you are anticipating to get money back for paying unemployment income taxes, then just expect your payments will most likely come out in May. And then in June, hopefully we have the child tax credit portal open. In July, we start seeing our monthly payments. At this time, it is not known whether the IRS will send out a letter regarding your unemployment income tax refunds. Some say yes, that is usually the process. That's usually their way of doing things. They send out a letter, but as of right now, we just don't know. So as we get more information there, I promise I will fill you in, because there's either you get a letter saying that, yes, we paid you and this is where we sent your money, or you don't get a letter and then you just expect to get the money. So I think there's going to be a letter at this time, but again, we just don't know. So as I know more, I promise I will fill you in on those details. But speaking of unemployment, or actually in this case, employment, many employers or many employees are now asking for more flexibility from their employers and regarding their schedules and the growing concerns that they have that COVID is here to stay. Some employees are asking for split schedules, and this is something that you may have been experiencing yourself. Hopefully you do have a job. Hopefully you are making some money and you are employed. But what we know is that some employees are asking their employers to split their schedule, where it's certain days at home, certain days in the office, so that they can actually deal with children. They can actually maybe be a little bit more productive or efficient from work, instead of working 5 days in an office where maybe half the time is kind of just dead time. They're not really doing much. They can be at home. They can be watching their kids. They can be doing other errands or whatever they need to do, and it just makes employees a little bit happier and a little more efficient. Some say they would like to also see childcare included for the days they are in the office. They would like to see larger offices or office centers provide daycare service free of charge to employees, and this would actually entice people to come back to work. But right now, we also know that is one of the things that a lot of lawmakers are pushing for as well, additional paid sick leave, child care, elder care, things like that as well. So we'll see what happens on that front. There's also many employees that want to see their travel to and from work actually paid for. And this is something that doesn't normally happen in most cases. When you travel to work, let's say it takes you 30 minutes to go from your house to the office. In most cases, employers do not pay for travel time. For 30 minutes to and from work, they're not paying you an additional hour every single day. So some want this to be included, or let them stay home. So there's different talks here, but the reason I wanted to bring this up, these are reasonable demands. And some say it's still too early to decide whether or not this is a good thing to do or not, but I wanted to bring this up because this is what we're going to see. We are going to see more of this. We are going to see major changes in the work week and the way things have been in the past. And so what we used to know as the work week, right, the Monday through Friday schedule, the 9 to 5, what we're going to see is there's going to be a big shift. I don't know when that shift is going to happen more on a permanent basis, but it is going to happen. We're seeing Facebook, Google, Apple, a lot of these tech companies are already doing a lot of this. Some of their office buildings are pretty vacant, but if we see this shift, we could see there's a huge dynamic here. There's going to be a huge point where things are like, okay, people are moving out of the city, and we're already seeing that. They're moving out of the city into the suburbs where it's cheaper, where you have maybe better schools. Again, that's not trying to be a hit on the larger cities, but sometimes more suburban areas, less kids or less people, it's usually you have some better schools. So we will see what happens there. But again, expect a huge shift. So I just wanted to point that out. In other major news, this is something that actually came out the other day as well. President Biden says he will withdraw all U.S. forces from Afghanistan by September 11th of 2021. So that's this year. If you remember, September 11th, 2001, that was the day of the 9/11 hijacking. So 2021 is actually the 20-year anniversary. So yes, We are coming up on the 20-year anniversary, and President Biden says that will be the date that he will have all U.S. forces out of Afghanistan. So, some say they cannot believe what President Biden says, though, simply because he has missed deadlines in the past. If you remember, when President Biden was vice president, he stated, "We are leaving in 2014, period." That's exactly what he said. And then just months ago, he said that the date was May 1st, that they were going to pull out of Afghanistan. And now we're approaching that date and things are not going to happen. So he says it will be September 11, 2021. So as of right now, we just have to wait and see what's going to happen. Some say yes, this is the right thing to do. Others say no, it's not the time. Some say it's long overdue, and others say we will see if this even happens. So what I can tell you is right now there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news regarding stimulus, infrastructure. Obviously, pulling our troops out of Afghanistan is going to be a big thing. President Biden has a lot going on. I promise I'll fill you in on all the details as we get them, but just understand there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on that will impact all of us. So again, thank you guys for watching. I just wanted to keep you updated on everything that's going on. As always, as I know more, I promise I will fill you in on the details on all the latest information and latest news. So thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.